Meeting. I'll call the meeting to order. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Are there any changes to the agenda? Okay, no changes. Do we have a motion to adopt the agenda?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Wilson, second by Ms. Noor. Mr. Patterson, how do you vote?
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Wilson? Signorina, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Noor?
Yes.
And I vote yes. The agenda is adopted. Approval of minutes from April 28th, 2026. Is everybody okay with the minutes?
Yes.
All right, is there a motion to adopt? Motion by Mr. Wilson, second by, somebody give me a second so we can vote. Mr. Patterson, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson? Ms.
Yes.
Fiorino? Noor?
Abstain, I wasn't here.
Abstain, and I vote yes, so the minutes are adopted. All right, continuation of the old business. So we have one application that carried over from last week for 2B's Ventures LLC. It was left open for the limited purpose of allowing the applicant to submit a list of the lots and the various variances requested for those lots, and that was submitted. So at this time, the record on that case is closed, and all we need to do is deliberate and vote. We have two members who are recusing, Mr. Patterson, Ms. Noor. I don't expect this to take long, so I told them if they just want to sit quietly and wait, they can. So we just need to conclude this case. Mr. Sharp, is there anything else that we need to add?
I thought maybe I could go over just in clarity so we have for the record the variances sought based upon the information that was provided.
Sure.
We had a list of, Mr. Warren provided us with a chart basically showing the dimensions and the frontage for the proposed lots. There are 38 lots identified. I will do the lot size variances first and then the lot width, just so that you have that for the record. The lot size variances are needed for lots 13 through 24. Lot 13 needs a variance of 1,317 feet. Lot 14 needs a variance of 1,464 square feet. 15 needs a variance of 1,497 square feet. Lot 16 needs a variance of 730 square feet. Lot 17 needs a variance of 1,484 square feet. Lot 18 needs a variance of 640 square feet. And lots 19 through 24 need variances of 2,500 square feet. Are there any questions on those?
No.
Then we have the lot width requirement, and that is 80 feet, so there were some variances needed there. Lot 1 needs a variance of 4.73 feet. Lot 2 and 3 need a 5-foot variance each. Lot 4 needs a variance of 2.02 feet. Lot 9 needs a variance of 5 feet. Lot 13 needs a variance of 2.09 feet. Lots 19 through 24 need variances of 5 feet each. Lots 26 and 27 need variances of 2.13 feet. Lot 28 needs a variance of 3.48 feet. Lots 29 through 34 need variances of 5 feet. Lot 35 needs a variance of 4.18 feet. Lot 36 needs a variance of 4.97 feet. Lot 37 needs a variance of 4.98 feet. And lot 38 needs a variance of 5 feet. There's a lot to say there. I think I got it right based upon what the information was. I see Mr. Warren nodding his head, so I will assume my math is correct. So that's the variances that are being sought today.
Okay. Mr. Wilson, Ms. Tiarino, do you have any more discussion or questions? No? All right, well then all I need is for one of you two to make a motion.
And if you'd like, I have a motion if someone needs.
Please.
Are you inclined to vote in favor of this motion? Or yes?
She can give you a motion for either, you gotta decide which way you're voting.
I'm for,
Okay,
yes,
well, now I have a motion for that.
please.
The applicant has demonstrated an exceptional practical difficulty exists as to the dimensional changes sought. The applicant has demonstrated the harms to the applicant if the requests were denied will be greater than the probable harm on neighboring property if the variances are granted. The property was the second phase of a previously approved subdivision which approval was expired. Roads, utilities, and stormwater systems affecting the development have either been installed or outlined with the understanding of future development of these lots. The property is burdened by tax ditches and utilities which limit how the lots can be reasonably created. As such, I move to approve the following, the variances stated by our solicitor as requested by the applicant.
Sounds like I did a good job.
All right,
You wish to adopt that as your motion?
I adopt that.
all right, we have a motion by Mr. Wilson. Ms. Tiarino, are you seconding that?
Yes.
I have a second by Ms. Tiarino. Mr. Wilson, how do you vote? Yes. Ms. Tiarino, how do you vote?
Yes.
And I also vote yes, so with a vote of 3-0, those variances are granted.
Thank you. Yep, sure thing.
All right, public hearings, Mr., sorry, my brain's not working today. Sharp.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is the time and place for hearings before the Board of Adjustment. There are a number of public hearings this evening, and to proceed in an orderly fashion and to ensure full participation by those present with an interest, hearings will be conducted subject to certain rules. All persons in attendance should conduct themselves in an orderly fashion, take directions from the chair. Unruly or disorderly conduct cannot be tolerated and may result in expulsion from the room. The town of Greenwood in zoning and land use decisions does not discriminate against persons based on race, color, religion, national origin, handicap, disability, familial status, sex, creed, marital status, age, sexual orientation, gender identity, or source of income. Public comments made on the basis of bias and stereotype concerning people in these protected classes will not be taken into consideration by the board in its deliberations. Each application will be announced. The clerk will provide a brief synopsis of the application. The board may ask clarifying questions regarding the basic facts, issues, and ordinance provisions. The applicant will be asking for to be sworn in. The applicant will then present the case, explain the request, and present any exhibits or testimony in support of the application. The burden is on the applicant to address the statutory factors for a variance or special use exception. The board may ask questions of the applicant and any of the witnesses. The board will then invite public comments from supporters or opponents. Please identify yourselves by name and place of residence for the record. All persons must be sworn in order to speak. Please be concise with your statements and avoid being repetitive. The board may ask questions of supporters. If you have questions for others, those questions must first be directed to the board. The applicant will then present an opportunity to present rebuttal evidence or testimony. The parties will be afforded the right to present a closing argument, but the chair has the right to limit the number of closing arguments by opposition if there are multiple objectors. Once all testimony has been presented, the public hearing is closed, and the case will be voted upon or tabled for consideration at a future meeting. All board matters are discussed and voted on publicly in open session. If the board renders a decision this evening, please be advised that that decision will not be final until the written decision is approved by the board and filed with the board secretary. Any action taken prior to the filing of written findings of fact and expiration of any applicable appeal period is taken at the property owner's risk. For the courtesy of those here this evening, if you have a cell phone, we ask that you turn it to silent service for the duration of the meeting. And please note the chair has the right to terminate or limit testimony or question which is irrelevant or unduly repetitive. Thank you.
Thank you. Our first hearing tonight is for Sussex County Habitat for Humanity. The mailing address is 300 West Market Street. The tax map number is 530-9.16-62.00. This is for variances from the front yard setbacks. The applicant can come forward and be sworn in. Yep, you can come right forward. Is he also going to be testifying or just you?
He's just my boss, he's here to make sure I do it right.
All right, Mr. Sharp will swear you in.
Please state your name and address for the record, please.
Sure, my name is Anthony Freddie, I live at 34998 Allwood Drive in Eunice, Delaware.
And do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do swear.
Thank you.
You can go ahead and present your case.
We're proposing to build a single family dwelling at 300 West Market Street, and as described to us by the town, they're considering that a corner lot because of the paper alley that's in between the lots there on the right side of our lot. And the setback there would, as requested, would have been 30 feet. We're asking that to be reduced to 16 feet, which still leaves a clear 26 feet from the other property line. That's so that we can build a reasonably sized home for the family that's been accepted into our program to buy the home from us. There was something, I forgot to bring the exact paragraph, but there's something in your code book that states that each lot will have two sides.
I'm aware of that, yes.
And the side setbacks are 12 feet. So
Okay.
a 16-foot setback
So-
are actually larger than your side setback.
Just for point of clarification, the case you brought to us tonight is a request for a variance.
Yeah.
Was not a request or appealing a decision by the town staff.
Right.
But I'm gonna have a couple of questions about that.
Right.
All right, do you have anything more to present?
No, I mean, it's all there in front of you on the lot plans of
Sure.
the application.
Questions from the board?
So they're considering the alley a main street, that's why.
Well, Mr. Sharp, maybe it'd be better if you explained it
All right,
for Mr.
so
Wilson.
We have, one of the anomalies in the code is that it references an alley lot line. It references a corner front yard, but it doesn't provide what setbacks would be. And when you look at what a front yard setback is, it's a setback from a street.
Sure.
It's kind of unclear about an alley. And the tack that has been taken, and I agree with it, is that this is effectively has multiple frontages. We have frontage on West Market Street. We have frontage on the alley to the side, we'll call it the west side. And then there's the alley, there's an alley kind of that bisects the property.
Yeah.
And then we have South Street, which is another unimproved street, but it borders the property.
Yeah.
Effectively, what this property is a through lot or the corner. But our code doesn't have any provisions about what that would be. And I think this highlights something that I've brought to the attention of staff, and if Mr. Warford brought it as well. I think we both saw the same thing when this initially was sent around, which is this is an odd situation in our code that probably needs to be addressed.
Sure.
Particularly when there's definitions that when you look for them, the terminology isn't used anywhere in the code. We have defined terms that are found nowhere else in the code other than definitions. I think it would make sense, this is just a legislative question for council, to have that looked at to see if, reduced setbacks need to be applied on a corner. I know at the county level, you will see a reduced corner setback of typically 15 feet. And if it's a through lot, they passed a through lot ordinance that reduces setbacks that would back up to what would consistently be the rear of the property. With alleys, that may be something that's a little different in a municipal context. That's a question for council, not for this board. But I did want to bring that to the council's attention. One thing that when I looked at this, Mr. Preddy, I want to make sure I understand this right. When I look at the drawing that's been proposed, do you have that in front of you by chance? Okay. So there's two different boxes there on this kind of front parcel.
Yeah, so the narrow box actually shows
That's
what
the building envelope.
what we would be restricted to if we were held to the corner lot restrictions.
That's what I thought. It's a little odd because it says proposed dwelling kind of in the middle of it.
And that's
the
dwelling that we propose to build.
Very good. So, just so that we have it for the record, this proposed dwelling, the porch will be 31 feet from West Market Street, so there's no variance needed from West Market Street. It will be 16 feet from the side property line to the east, and because it meets the setback requirements of 12 feet there, it will not, no variance is needed there. The rear of the structure it says here it's a 30, and this is where it gets a little odd, it shows 25 foot but that box appears to be farther. Is a variance gonna be needed from that rear part?
Well, that's showing 25 feet to the easement,
Mhm.
because
Oh,
the
there's easement.
because the easement encroaches onto the property.
Okay, so there's 5 feet of an easement there?
Yeah,
Okay.
so that's 30 feet to the back of that
Okay.
house.
So we don't need one from there. So really, the only variances that we would need
This
are
one's not-
from the alley to the west. And I'm showing the dwelling as being 16 feet. So we would need a 14-foot variance for the dwelling.
Correct.
And then the landing and steps, that is not measured. Oh, or is that 11 feet? Is that what that? Okay.
That would be, we could make that anything from
Well, I think
11 to 12, 11 to 13 feet.
Well, the note here appears to be an arrow showing 11 feet, so I'm gonna presume.
Yeah, that's 11 feet because we're proposing a 5 foot by
Okay.
5 foot.
So we would need a 19-foot variance for the landing and steps.
Okay.
Is what I just outlined a correct summation of what's being sought?
That's what we were trying to portray in this drawing, yes.
Okay.
And I want to say too, that just for the record, that I spoke to the county utility department about the easement for the sewer pipes that run through the property on that easement. And they told me that as long as I stayed 10 foot off the center of that easement, that satisfies their requirement. So, and that box there with the hash mark shows that.
But really, all we need is a
I
side.
don't know if that triggers
Yes.
any conversation.
I wanted to clarify a little bit, when the town, okay, so there's a variety of ambiguity when it comes to front yards. Did the town make a determination that anytime it is against a street or an alley, that's always a front yard? Is that the determination of the town as far as the interpretation of the code? Or has that determination not been made?
I don't know that determination's been made, but I think it's probably the sensible one, given when you read what a front yard is, it's from the street. And, you know, at this point, we don't have anything to dictate otherwise. I don't know what you would otherwise call something off an alley when we have a defined term for alley lot line.
Yeah, the reason I'm asking is because, well, a couple of things. One, landowners need to be able to know what they're allowed to do with their property, and so they need to know what how the town is interpreting this. The other is because I'm not necessarily convinced that's the correct interpretation. And, you know, if a landowner wants to appeal it to the board could decide what the correct interpretation is. So I just wanted to kind of point that out. But for tonight, for purposes of tonight, we have a request for a side yard variance.
No, request for a front yard.
Sorry, front yard variance.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Because that's how it was described to us, is that was.
Right. The question for you about the steps. Is a variance needed for these steps that are shown on the side as well?
So I guess that would be a question for the town, because the county, for the county, no. The county inspectors, you can project into the setback as long as it's not a covered porch. You can project, I believe.
You can 5 feet in a county, but the county has no zoning jurisdiction in the town.
Yeah.
I know that the zoning, I'm saying, but
And I
that's,
can tell you, if it was in the county.
Yeah.
And this was a front yard setback.
Yeah.
And you were 16 feet into it, you're not allowed to project, you're not allowed to go 5 feet beyond that.
right.
It's-
But
You're allowed to go 5 feet from the setback, but we're not dealing with the county.
right, but I was just mentioning that. because
Sure,
the county
yeah.
is who we need to get out here to inspect, you know, so.
How-
I just consulted. with
They're
them
gonna be
because of that.
inspecting on the building side of things.
Right, so I consulted with them just to ask them some advice, basically.
Understood.
Those steps, how wide are those?
As drawn, it's a 5 foot by 5 foot deck with 2 or 3 steps, depending on the height of the foundation.
So then you would be needing a variance to take it back to 11 feet, not 16.
Okay?
Does that sound right?
Yeah.
I'm doing the math right?
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
That's what he had.
Okay, yeah. Is it necessary to have a 5 foot? Wouldn't a 4 foot suffice?
We try to make all of our first floor entrances and first floor hallways and things, so that if there were to be any kind of ADA requirements in the future, it wouldn't be a burden on the purchaser.
Okay,
So we try to make that 5 by 5 side deck so the wheelchair could open the door and get in position to come down off the deck without, they could put a ramp without having to rebuild the entire deck.
Did you consider moving the house more towards the side where you've got a
would.
little bit of room?
We would, yeah. we
You
would.
are able to do that?
We can, yeah, we just wanted to present it in a way that was fair to both neighbors as well. Okay, because when we come into a community, we try to be friendly with everybody.
Okay. Any other questions from the board? Any other questions?
Why does the front yard have to be here and then not on Market Street?
Well, they're both front yards. That's what the town is saying, is that they're both front yards.
Okay.
That's what we're trying to clarify about
Yeah,
the way it's written.
if I give you a little, we have this here. So this is the crux of the issue. We have the definition of public street in our code. It says a public way for purposes of vehicular travel, including not only the traveled way, but also the entire area within the right of way, which is either dedicated to or accepted by the town or is maintained by Sussex County or the state of Delaware. Now, a front yard is the area that abuts a street. So that's our definition of public street. When you go to right of way, it says land reserved for use as a street, alley, or interior walk for other public purpose. So that's where we run into this, it's an ambiguity. It could be clearer, and I think it needs for a correction. But that's a legislative question. So that's why we run into that there's effectively a front on these different angles, and really the only side is to the east. So that's why that building envelope is smaller as shown on his site plan.
Sure. I mean, I just don't see why we can't just say that this has to be a side yard and where's the driveway?
Well, we can grant a variance. I mean, that's what they're here for, is a variance, right? I think one of the issues that comes to mind for me is that if it were a side yard, it would be 12 feet, not 11 feet.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
And what they're asking for is for that little deck / steps to be 11 feet from the property line. So that's one of the reasons why I asked about moving it over a little bit.
Sure.
And then when we are Habitat for Humanity, so we build, I mean, our mason is a professional, but we build with volunteers. So we always try to leave ourselves a little extra space.
Sure. All right, any other questions?
No.
Any questions, Mr. Sharp?
Just a couple. How tall is this house gonna be?
This is a single story house.
One story house?
So it's probably gonna be, in total, less than 20 feet.
And that paper alley, it's a paper alley, correct? It's not actually
No,
paved or gravel or anything?
it's grass.
It's grass, all right. So we're not worried about any traffic along that alley or anything?
I believe the neighbors there to the west use it as a driveway.
But it's not paved or anything like that?
No, and actually, when you get back, beyond the easement that cuts our lot into two, when you get back beyond that, you really can't even tell where it is because there are other things, fences and outbuildings and stuff that are pretty close. They look like they're on it from the other properties that abut us.
Is there a reason why the steps couldn't be moved to the other side or?
Yeah, that's the layout of the interior,
layout.
the whole house would have to be flipped.
Okay.
That would just be, we'd have to go back to an architect and go through the whole plans development.
Are there any steps that are coming off the porch that project into the front yard?
The porch stairs could be put on any of the three sides, the front, right, or left. So we would probably put them on the side
So they don't
to
go any
wherever we
closer to
decide where the driveway is.
Okay, so it's not gonna go closer to Market Street, it would be, you could project them off the
We
side?
could project them off to the side,
Okay,
or we could move the house back 2 feet. It's only gonna be 1 or 2 steps. The porch is normally about 21 inches to the surface of the deck of the porch from the final grade, so it's only gonna be like 2 steps down to the ground.
okay. I don't have any further questions,
Okay.
Mr. Chairman.
Is there anyone here who is in favor of the application? Is there anyone here who is in opposition to the application? Okay. You can have a seat.
Thank you very much.
All right, at this time, I'll entertain any deliberation or a motion. I will remind the board, you have the option of modifying how much of a variance we give. It's not just a yes or no to a certain number. And the only reason I say that is just because they're asking for it to be 11 feet from the property line.
I understand the wanting to keep it centered on the lot, but because we're dealing with a paper alley that is grassy, I don't know that that's as big of an aesthetic deal. And I think just because there is some confusion about side yard versus front yard, and it all comes down to terminology, I think that logically, if we shifted it a foot to the east so that it actually meets the regular setback, it would set a better precedent for handling any of these future issues and a little less confusing. Does that make sense?
Yes, it makes sense to me.
Just because we're so close to what code would say if that was truly a side yard,
If it were a side yard, it would be 12 feet.
because it looks, I understand that the confusion, but it looks like a side yard.
Yep,
Yeah.
I'm on board with the side yard. That's why I don't agree with that being.
I think if we could, I'd be willing to make a motion that would approve a 12-foot, up to the 12-foot,
That's like-
as that front, so that would be a variance of what,
18 feet.
18 feet?
Yes.
I have a motion I could.
Okay, I think I would be willing to make an emotion to,
Do you want Mr. Sharp to
Yeah.
do the motion for you? Okay.
I know you're articulate anyhow, so. I'll try to, the applicant has demonstrated that an exceptional practical difficulty exists as to the dimensional change sought. The applicant has demonstrated the harm to the applicant if the requests were denied will be greater than the probable harm on the neighboring properties if the variances are granted. The property is bordered by West Market Street and alleys, and the lot is only 60 feet wide, thereby greatly limiting the building envelope. I move that we approve the variance requested by the applicant with a modification that the variances be 15 feet and 12 feet, such that from the west side of the property, such that the home and the home would be 15 feet from the alley, and the steps would be 12 feet from the alley.
Okay.
Second.
We have a motion by Ms. Noor to,
no, it's 17 feet. The house itself would be 17
You're right.
feet, the steps would be 12. We're
You're
adding one to each.
You're right,
Okay,
you're right,
just wanted
Okay.
to,
you're
we
right.
have a motion to approve with modification by Ms. Noor. Do we have
That's
a
fine.
second? And Mr. Wilson, Mr. Patterson, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson, yes. Ms. Noor, Tiarino? Ms. Noor?
yes.
And I also vote yes, so a vote of 5-0. The variance is approved with modification. Okay. The next case we have is B Ray Investments. Let me get their application out here.
Thank you. Good night.
Make sure I have. Okay, so B Ray Investments, for a property at, let's see, okay, 3 North Street. The tax map number is 530-9.16-29.02. This is also a request for a variance from a front yard. You can, Mr. Sharp will swear you in.
Good evening, can you state your name and address for the record?
John Zotkovich, 4455 Vermont Drive in Dover.
And do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
And Mr. Chairman, I have a conflict of interest on this case. I will be here just to swear any witnesses that you have in.
Okay.
If there are any questions, we can get conflicts counsel to respond to those if the board were to have any.
Okay, all right, thank you. You can present your case.
We have a very similar case to that which we just heard. We have a property that faces on 3 sides. One to the north is a roadway, on the south is a roadway, and we have a paper alley on the east side. What we're requesting is that we reduce the 3 frontages to just 2, the north the south, and reduce the setback on the east, which would be on the paper alley side.
Okay. All right, does that conclude your presentation?
Yes.
Okay. Any questions from the board? You can stay up here for questions.
Sure.
Just want to clarify, as I'm looking at the survey, I see North Street, which is on the north, correct? North side of the property. On the south side, is there a street, or is that?
That is a street, yes, on the south side.
That is also a street, so you would have a front yard of 30 feet off of that end as well?
That is correct.
So you're requesting a 5-foot variance there.
It's a paper alley.
It's a paper alley on that side.
Alley on the south side.
So you have a paper alley on the south side and the east side?
Yes.
Okay.
It's sort of, no.
Yes. So, but essentially what that creates is 3 front yards,
Yes.
as we've discussed tonight, okay? All right.
Is there going to be any kind of side access?
No,
No steps or overhangs on either side? It's a front and rear type of thing?
that's correct.
So are you seeking to have a setback of 12 feet on the east and a setback of 25 feet on the south? Is that
I'm
what
afraid I
you're,
don't have it in front of me, but what we have defined in your document is the buildable area that we're requesting.
that you're requesting, okay? That leaves you with about, what, 2 feet around the house?
Yes.
Between what you're, about 2 feet of wiggle room around the house?
Yes.
Any other questions from the board?
You have steps here on what would be the back of the house.
Yes.
It looks that they fit within that 2-foot wiggle room that you have accounted for. Is that?
That is correct.
That is inaccurate, they wouldn't be any larger? Because since we're here, just want to make sure we adjust, okay?
I just want to clarify where the AC unit is on the rear of the house, that larger box, is that a concrete pad or some kind of a pad
That
on the
would be a
ground?
concrete pad, yes.
Okay, so it's not raised up above the ground, it's
No,
just, okay,
That would be a slab.
okay, all right. Any other questions from the board? Mr. Sharp, any questions?
I can't.
Oh, you're right, you're recused, you can't ask any questions.
Can I ask a question? With this lot being less than 60 feet in width, the requirement for off-street parking for single-family dwellings is for 2.5 parking spaces per dwelling, which obviously would be 3 spaces, and the required space size is 10 feet wide, 10 feet by 20 feet. Are we
20
gonna
feet
have-
deep by 10 feet wide?
Yes. We're gonna have any issues with that on North Street?
No.
Okay. Just because in this particular case, there is
How much parking did you say is required by the code?
2.5.
Okay, so,
Yeah.
okay, all
Yeah,
right.
so you're getting a little tight there at times with allowable room between parking spaces, especially since there is no side access in this case, as there was with the previous application. Because
There was a previous application?
The one we just did.
the one.
Oh, the one we
heard.
just heard, okay, gotcha.
So I
Okay.
just wanted to make sure that there would be no concerns with enough space.
No.
Is this a 1-story or 2-story?
One.
It's a 1-story dwelling, thank you.
In front of the garage, it looks like there's also like a 2 feet concrete skirting, is that what that is on the front of the garage?
That's an apron that comes out from the garage. We typically have an apron that extends beyond the garage slab. It drops down from the garage slab to,
So again, that's about ground level, that's
it would be ground level, yes.
ground level, okay. I mean, the only thing that really comes to mind for me is that you appear to be asking for more space than you really need, because you've got like extra wiggle room. And typically when we grant variances, we're just granting for what's needed, not extra. Is the house, is it, do you know how wide it is? How many feet wide?
I don't, do we not have the, floor plans that we had submitted for the? permit
There wasn't a floor
application?
plan, well, there's a floor plan in my packet, but it doesn't have dimensions on it. If you look at it, would that jog your memory?
It probably would.
So it's small.
27 by 28?
What are you saying? Oh, that is the length of the property line over here. Well, actually, that's the direction of the property line.
By the map, it would be,
That'd be 30,
It's not exact because the
Yeah.
property's a little bit like, it's not an exact number.
so that would be 37 from 58. That would leave you with approximately 20 feet. Is my math correct on that? I'm measuring off the front boundary. We've got 58.71 feet.
Well, the front property line is 57.47 feet wide, right? And then you minus out 24 feet for your side yards, and that tells you how much room you have left in the middle.
at least 33,
But-
but he's got,
You're asking for more than you really need, but we don't know exactly how much more than you really need.
so somewhere between 29 and 33 feet is where it maths.
I didn't bring my scale ruler along.
We can go with the minimum. I mean, basically, when it comes time for us to dig our footer, if we're right up on the setbacks, if you restrict us to the absolute minimum, then we would have to have a surveyor come back out, pin the footers, so that we can put the cinder blocks right up to the adjusted setbacks.
Correct, yeah, we'd have to have a surveyor help you with that.
We do it all the time. It's an added expense, but if that's a requirement, we'll simply have to the garage.
30 feet.
30. Thank you so much.
So the house is 30 feet wide,
Yes.
okay? What are you all inclined to do?
I'm in motion to vote on it if you want.
What do you want a motion to do?
We can vote on the, for the applicant.
Are you wanting to approve the requested variances? Is that what you're wanting to do?
I am.
Hold on just a second.
I mean,
I was gonna get the criteria for a variance out here to help you with your motion. I can find it.
well, please, by all means, if I'm overstepping, but, 12 foot, he's got street frontage technically, I guess, on 3 of the 4 sides.
Right.
So, he's meeting requirements on 2 of the sides,
So is part of your motion that,
Before you make a motion,
yes,
you need to ask if there is anybody
You're
here for
right.
or against.
you are right. Thank you. Is anyone here in favor of the application? Is anyone here in opposition to the application? Okay, you can have a seat.
this is when we need you to step in. Keep us straight here.
All right, so you want to make a motion to approve the requested variances. Do you want to make part of your motion that you believe the record shows that it is not contrary to the public interest? I'm just going through the criteria with you.
I feel like he presented his case in such that with the confined restrictions, he's,
Okay,
yes,
would you like to make part of your motion that there are special conditions or exceptional circumstances?
special conditions.
Yeah, okay.
This is where I need you to just step in.
And practical difficulties,
Thank you.
And that it creates exceptional practical difficulties.
I drive a truck.
I just wanna make that part, I'm just making that part of the motion is that he has met
Yes.
these criteria.
That's what I'm saying.
And, this, okay, yeah,
Please.
okay, no, that's fine. So we have an motion to approve the requested variances. Is there a second? Second by Ms. Tijerino. Okay, so we'll go ahead and vote. Mr. Patterson, how do you vote?
No.
Okay, Mr. Wilson, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Tijerino, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Newer, how do you vote?
Yes.
And I vote yes, so with a vote of 4-1, the requested variances are approved. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, do we have a motion to adjourn?
So made.
Second? All right, all in favor? Aye. Thank you. We're adjourned.